Dogsies, quick one today. If you're like me and are one of the millions of Americans that are digging out from a more suddenly winter storm, we kind of need all the help we can get. So I want to give a couple quick tips here on cleaning up a little bit. As you can see, driveway looks pretty good. Overwhelming majority of it was done with the machines, but up here where the sun doesn't shine because the house is in the way of a northern facing house, having a little bit of trouble here as far as getting the ice up, that base layer of ice. Now, I'm going to try to avoid the obvious and super common homesteading trope of just throw your ashes on there because it doesn't work. I did this side of the driveway with salt and this side of the driveway, or this portion of the driveway, with ashes from the fireplace, and this doesn't do anything. It's, I shouldn't say that. It's really good at like making a mess. The thing about ashes for ice melt is that it needs to be in the sun for it to work. I've seen a couple different articles saying things like, oh, well, it has potash in it, so it'll help chemically break it down. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Here's the proof in the pudding. It doesn't really do anything. It does make a mess and traipse it all in your house. So if you're trying to avoid an ear beating from mama about, oh, you didn't clean up right behind my car, don't use ashes because it's going to make a mess, and then she's going to get mad that you made the house all dirty too. However, I'm not breaking new ground here. The chemical reaction of salt, or the reaction with salt and ice, obviously works great. But here's the big but. If you're like me and you're in an area where there's millions of people trying to buy rock salt and you go to the store at the last minute, there's none left. But it's not the end of the world. Let me show you. So if you're like me, you have one of these. This is a water softening unit, and inside, to clean out the water softener, you have a big gigantic tank of salt. Now, while it may be sold under different brand names, this stuff is the same as this stuff, which is the same as this stuff. Halite, or rock salt, which we're all pining for right now, chemically is the same as all three of those salts. It's sodium chloride, and I have 200 pounds of it sitting here. Now I have the pelleted version, you know, this stuff. So what I did was I just got a metal bowl, stole some salt, maybe 5 pounds or so, and just used the back end of a shitty old screwdriver, smashed it up into various sizes, and then distributed that out. So the fact that I had the pelleted version, a little bit extra legwork. If you buy the blue bag or something of the crystallized version, I think it's labeled as like solar crystals or something. It's literally just rock salt. It's the same stuff that people are fighting over in the side of the store. Right at the front of the store, softener salt is the same stuff. Now you might be saying, well, I don't have a water softener. Well, I just gave you the last tip. Go to the store and tell them you need softener salt. The average homeowner who's thinking about his driveway and walkways is going for rock salt. We don't have rock salt, but they almost definitely, at least at my stores, definitely had softener salt. It's the same stuff. If you get the pelleted, you got to smush it up. If you get the blue bag, it's already the same. When you open it up, you go, oh, this is rock salt. It's the same thing. To be clear, this does not replace any sort of an ice melt. Those are salt and a calcium or potassium chloride mixed in together. So there are limitations as far as, you know, using straight salt on ice. This won't actually melt. It'll melt a little bit, but it really is there to kind of soften things up, if you will, no pun intended, so that you can manually get that layer of ice off. Now let me show you some of the results that I came up with using this crap. Now this area here was coated in about probably a ½ an inch of ice all the way up. You're not supposed to walk on the snow before you shovel it off, but we did anyway and traipsed it down into a pretty healthy layer of ice. Now this morning, I threw some of my crushed up softener salt on there. Look, this isn't snow, this is the salt. And it took it down to bare concrete. Now, like I was saying, once it softens it up, you can then physically remove whatever's left, or leave it in cases of refreezing. That's up to you. So while all your neighbors are fighting over rock salt, don't sleep on softener salt. You may have 200 pounds of it in your basement. Now, I'm not advocating for you to empty the thing all the way out, but stealing 10 pounds here or there just to keep things safe up by the house, you'll be all right. And save your fireplace ash for the garden and the chickens. It doesn't belong out in the snow. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye. If you're like me and any of the other, oh, there, microphone's not on. Check, check, check. Yeah, it is.